good morning, and welcome to your business in digital. We're live, guys. How are you guys doing this morning? Happy Wednesday.
Good morning. Good.
That beat is just so catchy. And I don't know if I told you guys, but Juma actually produced that soundtrack. So we have an original soundtrack for the show. So super excited. Shout out to you, Juma. Every time I hear it, I'm like, dun, 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 dun. All right. So it's time for us to do the recap from the last show. So last show, we talked about lead generation, right? So lead generation is so important for your small business. And it's definitely something you need to pay attention to. So what is lead generation? Lead generation is how you drive people, how you attract people, how you attract the right people to your business. Why is generation important for business growth? It's important for business growth because the more leads you get, the more relevant leads you get, it's the more you can turn those people into customers, right? What is a lead generation strategy? So it's really a series of steps that you really think through to get people down your funnel to that point of becoming an actual lead, right? And some effective lead generation strategies for small businesses are you can do quizzes, you can do games, you can have a blog, you can have ways that you draw people in to listen to your content and then ask them to give you their information to make sure you're giving them relevant content, right? How do you start generating leads for your business? You start generating leads for your business by understanding the content that you're creating. Really start tapping into those pain points, start creating content that's relevant to your audience, and they come in, they start consuming the content, and then that starts moving them down your funnel to get to a place of you generating more leads. And how do you do it consistently? Look at your analytics, look at your data, optimize, make sure you're optimizing. That's the only way to do it consistently. Once you find the formula, it means that you need to do it over and over and over, and leveraging your data is going to be important. And how do you qualify a lead? You qualify a lead based on the things that are important to you, right? You qualify a lead by looking at the demographic data, all the information that really matters to you and your business. When you pull together that target audience or that persona, you have some clear indicators. So those are the things that you want to use to continue to qualify those leads, right? Budget, maybe their age, maybe their industry, all the things that really matter to you. So I'm going to bring the team back and just get them to jump in and talk a little bit about lead generation and that quick recap we did. Don't all start at once.
This is my jam right here. It is the beginning, and this is where we make money on the sales side and bringing people to our business, into our world through our front door. So lead generation, as if you didn't watch the last show, go back and watch it. You'll notice that there was quite a lot of interaction from all of us because it speaks to money and how we work our business and bring money into the bottom line, our survivorship.
For sure.
I think lead generation should be best. CFO should like lead generation, and they should be friends with lead generation, with this whole concept, right? Because it should equal revenue generation. When you hear it, that's what, as a CFO, you should be hearing, that this could equate to money coming into the bank once done well and done properly.
You on fire this morning. She said revenue generation. I'm like,
I'm not going to follow that. That's it right there. That's it. No more needs be said. Lead generation.
Thank you.
Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, Andrea. Somebody got a little pepper sauce, extra slight pepper in that doubles and all right. Okay. Thing. All right, so Chef is here with us. Good morning, Chef. Chef is saying shift happens, so we love that. Good morning. So all right, we got to do a little bit what I like to call connect with us. All right, so it is time that you connect with us. We are showing up everywhere, guys. This slide just keeps getting more and more full. So we are on YouTube. Okay, that is our preference, if you want to follow us, if you want to tell people about us, tell them to check us out on YouTube. Have them subscribe. We are live here every Monday and every Wednesday. If YouTube is not your jam, that's fine. We're hanging out on LinkedIn. Check out the Your Business and Digital page on LinkedIn. And if you want to catch us after the live show, check us out on Spotify, Apple, Google, now Amazon. We are everywhere. I think we eventually have to start saying where there's a podcast, we are there. So, right? Dana is like, come through, Andrea. She is coming through. So subscribe. And here's the other thing I want to get you guys to do right now too. It's not just subscribe, but we want you to take the quiz. If you want to test the effectiveness of your online presence, scan this QR code and take the quiz. We will drop the link in the comments, but take the quiz. This starts you down a path of understanding, is your online presence truly working for you, right? Are you getting everything that you can get from it? It really kind of helps you define if you have a strong, weak, or medium online presence, and gives you some ideas around things that you can do to make it better. So definitely take the quiz, tell your friends about it, take the quiz. If you are listening to us on the podcast, in the description notes, you will hear, in the description notes, you will see a link to take the quiz. So it is everywhere. It's on YouTube. It's on every podcast. Just take the quiz and understand where you stand with your online presence. All right. So I think I did all the things I was supposed to do this morning. And all right. So we took the quiz. We did the recap. I think now it's time for our hot topics. So we love these hot topics. And this morning, Michelle is going to, we're just going to leave her and let her do her thing with this hot topic. So Michelle, I'm going to add to stream, and then we're going to get out of here and let you talk a little bit about what is happening in this space. Yeah.
This one is really interesting. And first, let's come back to a couple of shows ago. One of the things I mentioned is my alma mater, LSU, won the women's NCAA basketball tournament last week or so. I forget what day it was. But what I found really interesting as we move forward a week and life goes on is something that was really interesting for us that relates to everything that we do here in this space. And that there's a couple of articles out there, and if you haven't seen any of this, about Angel Reese and how our value Barbies, what we call her for our LSU Tigers, is taking advantage of capitalizing on her name in what is called NIL. It's a name, image, and likeness, and it's a manner in which college students may now make money and off of their name, their image, and their likeness, and legally move forward and capitalize on their name versus other businesses, their university being the sole manner in which money is made. Why I found this so interesting is that in this digital age, in social media, a place 10 years ago, someone of her ilk wasn't capable of making money. But this is saying, in many ways, one, strike while the iron is hot. I found it really interesting that she, in this age, right before all of this happened, is making about $300,000, almost $400,000 a year in her name and likeness. She is now affiliated with companies like Bose and JanSport, Xfinity, and a couple of others. That's really key, because in the day of social media, and we speak of this all the time, there are many businesses that are shifting. Instead of having real prominent names that are like actors that we're comfortable with and that we know well, they're shifting their dollars to people who are more likable and more like common everyday people, like an Angel Reese. She is right now, when this began, was about ninth among the college athletes who were making money in NIL. But as of what happened last week, she is, you'll find her everywhere in any podcast, on a lot of interviews, saying yesterday's dollars isn't today's dollars. So she is understanding that her value has changed, and she is not afraid to ask for her value. So if, Nia, you can move forward a slide, I believe, as it begins talking about this. But what she is basically saying is, own your name, own who you are. Take advantage of things, because now is the moment to make sure that you move your business forward. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want and what you are valued at your time. don't forget to diversify who you are. She is, as you saw, her name is across many different areas. She is not only doing well in school, but she is doing well in the sport of basketball where she is, but she is highly active in social media. She wears the things that she believes in. She promotes the things that she believes in, and she's got her hand in a number of pots to keep herself not pigeonholed in one particular place. And she is using social media and she's using her influence to move herself and her likeness and her sport forward. That show, that I'm saying it's a show, but that game had, I think, 9.9 million viewers for a women's basketball game. That is outrageous. That is up there and better than some of the men's tournaments in their likeness. So strike while the iron's hot. This woman is fascinating. And what my alma mater, what LSU's basketball team has done is one that should be watched and one that should be modeled by many a small business.
Oh, that is awesome, awesome, awesome. I love that hot topic story. And I love how you've put the spin for small businesses and what they can do well. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm definitely excited to follow her journey and see where she goes. But this is really, really great because I remember a few years ago, you're right, they made no money. And so she's really been able to leverage her name. So owning that information and being able to lean into the social media and the digital marketing. And I mean, she's truly an influencer now, right?
It is. And what's so amazing about this too is there were a couple of interviews that have been done with both Angel and another of her teammates called Flage, and who is a rapper, a prominent rapper who has been on pick a show that she's been on in competition in that space. And they were speaking about how they're just not a basketball player, how in this day and age, it's important for you to be well-rounded. And the question was asked, well, why weren't A, B, and C person able, who have had great games that are quite talented like you, unable to do it? And they both threw on the table right away, we're in a day and age of social media. We're able to get our name out there a lot faster, and we decided to capitalize on it. We understood that's where people of our age are, and we're there as well. So pay attention to me. President, First Lady Biden, I don't care who you are. This is my age. This is what my people want, and I'm going to sit firm in who I am, and this is my identity. And I thought that was profound, especially for a woman of 20 years of age down in deep south of the United States of America, who is owning who she is and moving it forward and saying, this is my brand.
Right.
And she's making a heck of a lot of money off of that. So.
All right. Well, anything else to add to this? What do you guys think?
I had to do some additional research. I'm not going to lie. I had to look it up a little bit. So yes, that NIL was only since 2021, right? It's really recent. So she's also managed to do this in a very short space of time. Of course, I jumped on, checked her profiles. I was like, wow, okay, so multi-channel presence, branded shop, all the things that we want for our businesses. So really good stuff. I like this story as well.
What I like about it is that the relatable how Michelle was able to explain what small business could do. You're asking small business to do what comes natural. Our small businesses are bred on being able to be unique and stand apart from the big corporate. That's why people say, support small business, because you're able to offer this. It might be the same type of product. It might be the same, but it's something that's very unique. And what she is doing here is very relatable, that a small business can take those points that Michelle puts across and apply it to themselves, because that is the core of being a successful small business. Bring that uniqueness that makes your unique value proposition. So I like that part about it.
My dear, as I say in my company's name, Lanyap, she is showing her little something extra every day, all day, and differentiating herself from the pack. Her teammates put, not just LSU on the map because they've been on the map, but for women's basketball in this environment, that is unheard of. It's quite difficult to accomplish. So hats off, do your thing, my dear. Do your thing, young lady.
Well, thank you for bringing this story to us. This Awesome, awesome. So I'm sure all the businesses will learn quite a bit. So, all right, we're moving on to everyone's favorite section, at least one of my favorite sections. Go beyond the likes, right? So this is where we take you beyond the likes and really start talking about the strategy, some of the things you should be implementing, working on. Last week or last Monday, we talked about lead generation. We did the recap this morning, and today we're talking about lead nurturing. Look who made the look who made the cover. Lead generation, converting leads into customers. It wouldn't be right if you didn't make the cover because this is what you do all the time. So this was, kudos to you.
How cute are you? Good morning. Thank you.
All Nia, all Nia. I can't even take credit for it. Well, I'd like to take credit. Guys, Nia behind the scenes is help hooking us up, getting our presentations done, getting our all the little things you see popping up. She's definitely working to make that happen. So shout outs to Nia for that and making that happen. All right. So today we're talking about lead nurturing, and there's a lot to go through. We have a lot. We have a presentation. We have 7 points. But let's lean in and focus and get it done. I think it can be fun as well too, right? So let's start off with, what is lead nurturing? And Michelle, we put you on the hot seat. We put you your picture is there. Do you want to start off and kick us off about and talk a little bit about lead nurturing and what exactly it is and how businesses should be thinking about lead nurturing?
Oh, so we're going to spend another day this fine Wednesday morning just working in an area that I love so dearly. I think one of the things that for me, lead nurturing leans into how you develop a relationship with your clients from the moment that they enter your environment, your world, taking them from someone that's a stranger for you through the number of steps, and there are a number of them, to a process of them saying yes. So it is them understanding who your brand is, what you're about, you identifying their pain, what that they are leaning into, their persona, what they need, and then introducing yourself and then taking them to the point of yes. So for us, it is your introduction to your people and moving them through your sales cycle. It's selling people. It's all about selling.
Well,
it's not a dirty word. Really, it's not. It really isn't.
It's not a dirty word.
We all sell every day, all day. Every day, all day. In your business and digital, with everything that we do, the 4 of us, we are bringing in our personalities and what we do in each of our daily lives. But there's some component of what we do that is actually part of selling. We do it all day, every day.
So I love that you talked about the fact that it is about really, the nurturing is about building the relationship, right? So, we want to start off with that lead generation piece and we get the lead and then what happens next. So it's about building the relationship. And so, Andrea, I'm definitely, I'd love to hear your take on why you think lead nurturing is important because you dropped the gauntlet this morning and you were like, revenue generation, not just lead generation. And that's how CFOs should think about it. But so we generate the lead, but the value, in talking to a CFO, what's the value of nurturing that lead to the point of sale? And sometimes we know that nurturing that lead could take dollars, right? So why do you think that lead nurturing is important for your small business?
Because the nurture part, the lead nurturing is about relationship building. And when we talk about small business, we know small businesses thrive on the relationships that they build with customers, more so than a big corporate entity that probably just needs to drop the price and have a sale, and then customers come through the door. Small businesses have to rely on the relationships that they build with their customers in order to be sustainable. So lead nurturing, after you've generated a lead, you found the person and you say, oh, I think I want to build a relationship with you. It helps you now to convert them into a sale, but not just any sale, a sustainable sale. Because you're not just looking for come through my door and just buy my product today. You're looking for them to come find out what I do and if this speaks to you as a person. And I think that part now is more a sustainable pathway to profitability and revenue generation versus, well, let's just have a sale and let's just get numbers. And as a small business owner, yes, you want the numbers, you want to generate revenue. You have to think the long game. You have to think long game more than the bigger companies, right? So lead nurturing allows you to say, hey, let me find these people and nurture them so that over time I can get consistent sales from them.
I love that breakdown. Oh my goodness, good stuff. All right, so we're gonna chug along because again, I think we have a lot to cover, and I know point number 4 is going to be a doozy. So how does lead nurturing work, right? In simple forms, it's really you pull together a series or a sequence of activities that you want your consumer to go through, right? So the person who's coming in, your target audience, moving them to that place of becoming that ideal customer and buying from you. So you want to make sure you understand the series of activities that lean forward, right? Is it email marketing? Are you sending them to a landing page? And we're going to delve into this a little bit later on. We definitely have some slides because we understand that the lead nurturing process can be confusing because a lot of focus is really on the lead generation and not necessarily the lead nurturing, right? And so that's why it's important for us to understand, hey, how does it work? What are the things we can do? So as small businesses, if we're looking to work with other agencies, if you're looking to work with us, you understand what to expect, right? That's what we want this show to do for you, your business in digital. Help you understand what to expect when you're working with an agency, what you should get, and how does lead nurturing work? How are they helping you to nurture those leads, right? We're working with a client right now, and we're setting up for them everything that's connected to generating leads and then nurturing those people to the point of sales. So we have to think through all the processes that go in with that too. All right, so I'm going to jump into point number 4. What is the difference between nurturing by your marketing team and nurturing by sales? So Michelle, I know this one is a doozy and it's going to take some time because the nurturing, when we hear it, we don't really differentiate. We're just like nurture, nurture, nurture. And now we're saying, wait, there's nurturing for marketing and there's nurturing for sales. So break that down for the people.
It's quite an interesting thing, and they tend to be lumped together, but there are some key nuances that we're speaking to when we're speaking to what marketing is doing and what sales is doing. And this is where they both actually work really, really well together. But there's a couple of lanes that they are separate, and then there's areas where they cross in. Both areas, the marketing side and the sales side, are both designed and have the same end goal, and that's to convert those leads into clients and advocates. You want them to be buying customers and advocates, but the approach and where they're focused is slightly different. On the marketing side, they really start, as I mentioned when we first started this conversation, on building relationships. They want to help you engage the leads by the marketing efforts that are quite strategic. We're speaking of reaching out through email campaigns, your content marketing that we have in the social media spaces in any of these realms, the other ways through some direct marketing efforts where the goal is to understand the needs, speak to your buying community's behavior. You want to deliver that content that is key, high quality, that is of their interest and delivered in the places they are in the right time where they're receiving the information. And their goal is to take their hand, open the door, bring them through the door of your house, and then hand them off to someone that's in sales or part of your sales team. And then from that point, it becomes a bit more personal. We get into the sales side where it's really direct interaction with that client. You want them to have one-on-one personal type of interactions through your sales process. And I answer specific questions that your clients may have in mind. You're at this point anticipating their need and delivering and answering the unasked questions to get them to the point of yes, to make that purchase decision and get through the FAQs that they may have so that they are not only in your business, but they say yes and then continue to buy and to upsell. So they are at that point designed to maintain and hold on to and pursue that relationship further.
Woo.
I know it's a lot. It's a
It's a lot,
lot.
but I think it's good, right? Because we understand that sales is a little bit the difference is they are nuanced differences, right? Marketing is in that space where they're building that relationship. They're focused on sometimes it's a little bit more automation, sometimes it's things that have been pulled
Mhm,
together to help that nurture sequence. But sales is really a little bit more hands-on, right? It's not
mhm,
so much automation. It's more getting into the heart of, well, what are they thinking, what are they feeling, and marketing sometimes is really about that. It used to be about the feeling, but it's about those data points. It also helps to give sales the information so that you can step in and then really kind of deal with where the people
mhm.
are, where that sale is, how are they feeling, what connects them, and what finishes off. So they work well together as well.
Right.
So I do love that
It
explanation.
is. It is. And notice how we often play in this space, the way Tamara and I talk. T and I often speak to, she is delivering, no, Michelle, here's the analytics. Here's where the people are. Here are the words that they need to hear in order for them to lean in a bit further, to say yes to something. Here are the key words. And from that point, my goal is to message it to say, here is the target audience that we're really looking for. Here are the triggers that make them buy. Here's the messaging and what you're resoundingly trying to say to answer a pain point they have. And then from that point, from marketing side, she takes it and she spins it. She, wraps it all up and say, okay, I've got it, but here are the spaces you need to be in, and here is how it needs to be delivered out to that world. So there are some key differences in there. I'm a numbers person, I'm a salesperson, but I am not a marketer. And I say that often in these spaces, and I know my lane. And Tamara often comes in and she says, "Okay, I get this piece. Now, what does this mean from a sales perspective, Michelle? I don't get that part. So help me out here." So there is a need to work well together, and don't think you can do it alone. If there's a rare person that's both really great at sales and marketing. It's really the things you need to know in each space are really important. So don't take it lightly. There are great nuances here that I know I lean on P purposely to say, I need your help here. And then we get to a space, and I was like, oh, I've got it. I know what we need to do next, and this is how we're going to get to that point.
100%. I love that. So we got some comments here. Dana,
Mhm.
relationship building is key to grow your MSME. My nurturing process is all about having the valuable conversations that my clients want to have. Those conversations lead to sales and repeat sales. So love that you're talking about your nurture process because it's such an important piece of the pie. And shout outs to you, Dana, for always being here. Andrew, I know earlier on you saw Dana with her come through. Giving us all the light this morning. We appreciate that. All right. So as we move along, Mr. Wilshire, how are you this morning? Welcome to the party.
Yeah, I felt strangely quiet this morning. I was like, I'm just taking in the show this morning.
You are not just a spectator, you are a participant. So how do you continue qualifying the leads, right? Because in the nurture process, we're still qualifying the lead. So once you get that email address or that text, that phone number, you still have to get to a place of this person, they fit my target audience. They fit some of the criteria, maybe one or two things. So as we're nurturing, we're still continuing to qualify. So talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, we continue to qualify continually right up to that sale, right up to them becoming a customer. So we're looking at, as we said, we got the lead, and then what do we do next? So that qualification is going to continue, and it can continue on 3 different levels, and it can continue on more than these 3. You can segment your leads based on criteria like industry, their job title, their specific interest. You can qualify based on direct interactions. What do they do? Phone calls, personalized emails. And of course, you want to, most importantly, analyze their behavior so that what you're looking for really is a process that you can repeat in terms of lead qualification as you move your prospect, your lead, through your pipeline to becoming a customer. So it's important to continue that qualification process. And I'm a fan of adding that disqualification process as well, where there's not a right fit between you, your company, your business, your service offering, and that specific lead. So that's a constant process until they become a customer.
You know what's key about what Michael says as he walked through it and segmenting and understanding their behavior. Take this back, and it's not as difficult as people think it is. Think about how you are in your personal life. The way we deliver a message to someone is going to be based upon how the other side is going to receive the message, because you want them to hear what you're saying, not how you say it. So you have to, the way you deliver that message is really important, and it's going to be based upon that personality and their need. Those words on the marketing side is 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 really important. From a sales perspective, we're going to help to net the conversation down to its least common denominator, but we're going to be succinct in how we deliver it in the place that they are visiting, how they want to do it. So if we have somebody that fits into a personality where they just want the information and move on, then we're not going to have a diatribe on how to turn it on or how it's packaged. We're going to find a way to deliver it quickly. But then you're also going to meet the need of the person that needs a lot more information before they make a decision. So you're delivering that through an FAQ. So there are many ways that you can deliver that message based upon the behavior and how your client receives information. You're selling to them and you're nurturing and you're building that relationship.
Yes, you're continuing the lines of communication, right? That first getting that lead was just the start of that communication. That was the hi, hello, and they saying hi back and saying, "Oh, hi, what are you selling over there?" Right? So that continuing qualification is, it could be what's their budget? Do they have a budget to work with that fits into your world, right? Um, do they have a time constraint in which they need to have this service or problem solved? So you're always continuing to qualify. You're just deepening that discussion, getting more information about that lead, and as well sharing more information about how your business provides the solution, right? So it's that ongoing process. So you must continue that process. Getting that lead is just the start.
It's still little things that are familiar to you. All of us buy clothing. So you get in and you search by a different way, and you want this I'm going to talk about Michael's red that he has on. And so I want this red top. And you get in and you decide, oh, let me look through the pictures, because what does the back look like? You're thinking this, the messaging is already there because they're delivering a picture that gives you multiple angles. Then you say, well, I wonder what size it is. Does it, have tight fit or is it loose fit? Well, that's in your descriptor. So we're bringing things along the pathway in a succinct way. Oh, I'm not sure if it's medium or large. Let me check the size chart. That's going to now answer my next question. So we're bringing them along and getting them a bit more comfortable in their words and there's visuals. So we're meeting them where they are. And in the same respect, we are selling and nurturing that sale along the process. That's what we're doing every day in the way we buy. So think about it that way for your business when you're trying to move your products and services forward.
And of course, it's time and money, right? So that qualification, continuing to qualify, is because you want to make sure your time is spent wisely, spent efficiently. So you want to make sure that those first set of leads that you're looking at, who qualifies to get to the next step, right? In that sales continuum, to use Michelle's term, to use that sales continuum. So it's very much a time and money issue as well, that you want to keep qualifying. You don't want to spend time with those leads that are not going to pan out, just simply not going to pan out. And sometimes they are very simple disqualifiers that get them out of your world, and you can continue to look good because maybe you directed them to the right place, right? And when they do get to the size where they can play in your world, where do? They come right back. And we've seen this at Monovan, haven't we? Right?
Sure. So I know you said the keywords, and Andrea was like, oh, she's been like, oh, go for it, Andrea, because
Well, I had that, and then Michael answered it. So I was ready to ask the question. I was ready to be devil's advocate and say, but what happens? At which point do you stop? At which point do you say you're not no longer meeting my criteria? But you answer the question where you say you have the disqualifying route as well, because I don't want to be spending time and resources and money behind a lead that's not going to pan out for me. So my question at the point was going to be, well, okay, at which point do you get off this train or do I redirect you? Because the more along the journey you come, the more information I'm giving, the more time I'm giving, So how do you do that? And I think you answered the question by saying that there must be some disqualifying activities that could just naturally lead the person to another course until they're ready to come back with you. So you answered the question.
Yeah.
They may
And
not,
Angie,
they may not be ready to come back with you, right? So the thing about
right.
that, it's understanding when is it there. No, it's a time bound thing as well too. Are you ready to buy now? Maybe that's a question. Are you ready to buy within the next 6 months? You know what I mean? Are you, because when we're giving information, we're also getting information. So the process of nurturing is a give and take if we look at it the right way, right? And maybe right is, again, I don't want to say words like that, but if we if we look at it the tomorrow way, the right way. It's a give and take. So we give maybe three things, and then we ask for something else. And that's the disqualifier there. We ask another question: are you ready? Do you have a budget? What does that budget look like? But we're giving, right? Maybe we give a trick. Maybe we give something that works for them. Maybe we give a little bit more expertise. So in that nurturing process, we're continuing to get information, and that's where the disqualification happens, because they're still going to answer questions as we're building. And this moves us nicely into our CRM conversation, right? So I'm going to kick this right back to Michael and lean into the CRM conversation, because this is where we get to understand all the steps that they're taking. So Mike, talk about that CRM and how it really helps you to make lead generation easier, make qualifying your leads easier, and yeah, help us understand. Preacher Mike.
So CRMs, and I will start off by saying this. A few years ago, as much as I touched on CRMs, I really didn't get it. I did not get it. And I will assume a lot of people feel the same way. It's a lot of tech, in one place, a lot to understand. But this is what makes it easier. It's having all the information about a lead in one place. Now, think of this from your business perspective, from that organizational perspective. Any lead may touch several people within your organization. So at any given point in time, it's worth your while to be able to understand what actions has this lead taken? From the time they've entered your world. Did they see the ad? Did they fill out a form? Did they receive a sample? Did they have a demonstration? Right? So a CRM collects all that information, all of that data into one place relative to your lead. And that's the key piece. It's relative to your lead. So we're not just talking like a list of emails. I can go into a specific email. So Michelle signed up or Andrea signed up, and I can tell specifically the actions they've taken, and therefore have a clearer picture of what comes next for them, right? Where are they in their buyer's journey? So that's just one way in which a CRM makes it easier. Of course, the next way now is, of course, automation. And this is where the marketing side of the nurturing happens, right? And we lean into that automation, those email sequences that go out automatically based on the action that the lead has taken. So they offer a lot of robust automation options, also to the point of which you can have notifications internally as to, this lead has done this specific action. Maybe it's an action that you want to respond to absolutely right away, right? Because it means high intent. It shows they're ready to buy now, all the things we were talking about just now. So that's the start of it. You want to make sure that you can look at that and say, hey, I want to respond quickly, early. I can direct these emails internally automatically based on the customer's action or the lead's action. They're not a customer yet, so lead's action. And then finally, it's that one source of data. You know that on this show, we will talk about data from now until the end of the season and next season as well, right? Because the data is what's going to tell us what's that ideal set of parts, because every client, every prospect is going to be different, but they're going to share some commonalities. And a CRM is going to bring that, the analytics that it can give you, because it's all connected, is going to give you a picture. And that picture is going to be what's that path that goes from lead to customer, and what are the percentage probabilities of that lead going to the next step, right? So very important in your pipeline. So those are just three ways in which a CRM can make things easier. But the main core thing I would lean in is that's one source of information about every lead that's available organizationally from an organizational view. So jump in there.
Yeah. I think what I love about automation that Michael has taught me, that he's pulled me in when I have been on the ledge of this is just way too much for me to deal with, is that it really does help the marketing, the nurturing, the sales process, because there's a call and response component to this. The client does this, the prospect, when they click on this piece, this is what the information that they're giving. And now based upon where they are, I can respond in this manner to help continue the qualification process. So it's a call and response. It is a qualification. Not that I'm not telling you that you're right or wrong for my business or that this package is better than that. I'm going to help you to make that decision by what you're telling me is right for you. But you're self-qualifying. You're saying yes to me and what I have to offer. But I'm also saying, I'm educating you and guiding you to the right place because you don't quite know what you want. So I'm here to help you to answer your unasked questions, and also those that you're asking as well, by guiding you to the right place. Our quiz is a prime example. It is by them answering specific questions, we're able to identify where they are in the process and then offer up to them suggestions of what would be ideal. So we're being efficient as well in helping them to guide them to the right places and make that journey shorter as possible.
And it's one point of contact for the business, right? So a CRM can be built by using a number of different apps together. But what we're talking about is using a CRM, which is an out-the-box collection of apps which form a platform, which give you marketing ability, sales ability, service ability, all within one package, so that you're really with that lead straight through to client and developing that relationship continuously along the way.
And go ahead, Andrea.
No, and I'm just saying, I love the efficiency that CRMs give, right? Because small business owners, we don't have the resources, we don't have the bandwidth to hire different people for different things. So I love that CRMs allow you to manage that end-to-end relationship. From the time they click, you could go so fast from the time they clicked on something that you gave them, you're seeing what they do. That's what the CRMs allow you to see. Oh, they clicked, they answered, they responded, they deleted as whatever the case may be, or they came and they spent 5 minutes looking at something. I love that these tools allow you to see all of that in one place so that you can make better decisions about how you're going to continue to treat with the person. That's key for a small business because we don't have the bandwidth for a lot of resources. We don't have the ability to hire 2 or 3 different people to do these things. So the ability to have one tool that you could manage from end to end, that's great efficiency.
Yeah, 100%. And so, I would be, crazy if I didn't plug. We're now on HubSpot and we're HubSpot partners. And it's a great CRM tool. We're actually using it for a client right now, and exactly what we're building out from web all the way through to the marketing, all the way through to their forums, understanding what will go over to their salespeople, the notifications they will get. So we've been really going through and drafting and kind of plotting those workflows and thinking through from the time we're using Google Ads to drive people in, but we understand where we want them to go because we know their intent when they're coming in based on the search. So we've been able to pull together all those things, and then we'll be in a space where we can eventually qualify them by scoring them to say, hey, this person is at a 50. So that means that this person's taken all these steps. They've downloaded, they've requested, they've done these things. This person, number one, is aware of the brand, is aware of the book, is aware of they've spent some time binging information, and this person is ready because they've also given us their date when they're ready to purchase and the budget that they have. So we can say to our client, these are the people that are ready for you to move forward. And we're doing all of that on HubSpot. So not saying that HubSpot is the only CRM, but right now that's where we are. And it's definitely been something that's working for us. Monovan has also moved themselves over to HubSpot. So we're building out, now we're starting to build out our marketing as well. And I mean, it's the tool is really awesome. The tool is really, really awesome, and it allows us to do things quickly. So that's what we love even more. And then what's great about it is a lot of the other tools that we're using integrates with that as well. So Mike, I don't know, I felt like you were gonna say it, and I was just like, is he gonna say
Oh
it?
yes, you got me just by like
Let's say
1 minute. And I just wanted to add, even within HubSpot, so when we collect an email, just as Tamara was saying for a client, even we were surprised at the breadth of information that just that email allowed HubSpot to show us. So we were able to see the organization the person was with. We were able to see some deeper info. So you were able to understand that flow of what exactly, when we are talking about the marketing pieces, we're talking about the lead generation, you are looking at a dashboard that really runs left to right that can show you, okay, this is where they're going to come in. This is how they're going to move through. This is what's going to be sent to them. This is how we're going to communicate, all down through to the end of getting that customer, right? So a CRM, especially for small businesses, I think is a huge investment that's worth making. It's sometimes it can be a big investment, but it's worth making because you want that data.
100%. All right, man. We CRMs, we nurtured. So this is the last point we have today. So how do you get started with your lead nurturing strategy? And we wanted to kind of take a different approach to this because we understand that sometimes it is a little bit more complicated. We think it's a little bit more complicated than it really is, right? So I'm going to jump in here. Why am I? Okay, so you've generated the lead. So what's next, right? So this kind of helps to give you a practical application as you're thinking through the process. If you're going to talk to an agency, if you're looking to work with someone, these are the things as a CFO, as a CMO, as a CEO that you should be considering when you're looking to move to the next step of that lead generation process, right? Into lead nurturing. So now it's time really for the relationships. And everyone said that in every point we've talked about, right? The nurturing is really about that relationship and developing a nurturing strategy. So it has to be strategic, right? So we have to make sure that there's really a clear series of steps. But what's important is understanding how many touch points before a lead really becomes a customer, right? Are there 10 touch points? Are there 5 touch points? Are there 6 touch points? How many touch points do we get to, right? Are people moving through our pipeline? Are people moving through our sales funnel, our continuum? And how many times are we engaging with them to get them to a place of moving from awareness, just finding out about us, to consideration, to making a decision, and then to making that purchase? So you must be aware of the number of touch points. The other thing you need to be aware of are, what are the touch points? Where's your target audience? What are the things that they like? Where do they engage the most? Because that's important too. Are the touch points more email-based touch points? Are they more text messaging touch points? Are you going to develop a landing page for that touch point? Or maybe your touch point is on social media. So what are the touch points? How many and what are the touch points? Now, it can be a combination of things. It doesn't just need to be one thing. It can also be a combination of things because that might be best for your business. But each one of these nurturing strategies, you're going to make it very specific to your business, right? This is 100% about your business and your customers. So every template that's out there may not work for you. So these are the questions that you want to start asking. If you're working with an agency, you want to start talking to them about, well, what are those touch points? And you'll have a better idea if you've already been doing some digital work and looking at your analytics. You'll understand where people are already moving through. So you get to really, truly engage in that conversation with that marketing agency or expert. Also, you have to think about, in that nurturing strategy, what is the content? Now, Eric talked about this. It was funny. Michael and I was like, what was the thing Eric said? I think it was like kill. And Michael was like, I think it was like eat. And I was just like, how did I get to kill? So it was not kill. It is engaging, authoritative, and trustworthy. You want that type of content as you're nurturing. This is the place where you want to lean into the case study. studies, the solutions, frequently asked questions, reviews, videos, things that become bingeable content where they can spend time again moving through that process of awareness to consideration to making a decision and then to buying from you, right? So the content really plays into that. So it's really, really important that we have the eat content or maybe the kill content. I don't know. All right. So call to actions become super important as well, too, right? Those call to actions, you have to determine in that sequence, what am I asking people to do? Because that's the stuff that the CRM can track, right? If they click on watch the video, they'll be able to tell you this person watched the video. Did they click on learn more and spend 2 minutes on a web page learning more, reading more? Did they click on explore? Did they download something? Did they give us feedback, right? Did they read more? Did they buy? What are your call to actions as you're moving through this sequence, as you're developing your nurturing sequence? Now, each area, each place that you're putting that, you want maybe just one call to action. You want them to take one action at a time. Don't overwhelm them with 5 and 6. In a strategy, you may just have 3 call to actions and you use them to move people through the process. The client we're working with right now, we have 3 call to actions, but we understand that one is a primary call to action and the other 2 call to actions actually eventually lead people back to that primary call to action. Like that's how specific we got with it. We didn't want to have too many things for them to do. We wanted to have the right things for the potential audience to do. And then the other thing is you want to always measure. You want to measure everything. You want to measure what's working, what's not working. As I move through this process, are they opening the emails? Are they going to the landing page? What's the time on site? So understanding your KPIs for this nurture process is important, right? Analytics plays into everything that we do and say. So it's important that you really, really measure this. And the next thing is understanding your ideal nurture formula, right? It's going to be different for every business, right? It could be 3 emails and a landing page, right? That first email could provide a solution that hooks them, something that you say, hey, try this, and they do it and they work and it works. And they're like, wow, these people are amazing. Then that second email can have a video in it. And that video, hooks them a little bit more, gives them something that's about them, right? Then that third email, you move them to a case study where you did something really, maybe you did something well, there were great results. Maybe there's some customer information in that case study, stuff that really makes them feel like, hey, I really like this company. I'm aware of them. I'm considering them. This case study is helping me to make a decision. And then maybe you move them over to a landing page that has more frequently asked questions where they get to binge more content about you. And then after that, maybe that's when you ask them to buy. So along the way, you're asking them to take steps, you're giving them information, and you've created a series of sequences, right? You've created a sequence with a series of steps that move them from that place of awareness all the way to consideration and all the way to even purchasing with you. So this is how you really go through and develop that process. And then what you want to do is, we talked about this earlier on, right? You want to score those leads based on specific actions that they've taken, right? Score them. If they're taking the actions, you want to know who are the people that are actually going to convert, who are the people who are disqualifying themselves. If they're not opening the emails, if they're not going to the landing pages, if they're not taking the steps, then they probably are disqualified. If they're taking the steps and if they're answering your questions and giving you more information, then they're in a place where they're ready, and these are the people that you want to move forward with. So in a nutshell, that is exactly how you go about really developing that lead nurturing strategy for your business. So if you again have any questions, definitely drop it in the comments. Guys, I know that was a lot, but what are your thoughts there?
Well, I just want to refer to Dana's comment, if you could put it up, her last comment on CRMs, because I think you just, simplified what a CRM should look like. So, Dana, I totally feel where you're coming from, but think of that last slide we just had up, and then you have your CRM in front of you. So it's going to just allow you to say, right, this is where the email goes, this is where the landing page goes, this is where this goes. So it's all those pieces in one place. And we're definitely here, as Tamara said, we are HubSpot partners now. So you get some more about CRMs, and definitely in a simplified manner, to see how we can help you take that forward.
Yeah, I think what most people have to consider is that your online presence, you're actually working to have a CRM. So your email marketing tool, right? So let's simplify it right now. Your email marketing tool. that is a mini CRM for you. And 9 times out of 10 times, you're probably not using it to 100% of its capabilities. So you don't understand that you could probably have your leads in there, possibly scored more details about it. We're working with a client who uses Active Campaign, and we have leveraged her tool to the point of now her being able to jump in, look at her leads to say, okay, this person took this step, this step, this step, and it's Active Campaign. So all the tools that you've pulled together for your business, your online presence, are parts of a CRM. We're just saying in one place, you get to see one dashboard. The Google Analytics feeds into it, all the information. You've determined your KPIs. They all feed into one place. You're logging into one place. You're updating your website from one place. You're updating your emails from one place. The word customer relationship management tool seems complicated. But when we look at it, we're all building customer relationship management tools. We might just have it in WordPress, in Wix, but we're all doing it in different ways. So I think let's remove that, thought process and really just get to looking at what we currently have, because in the long run, we are building tools to keep in contact with our customers and to continue to sell them. So it's just all in one place versus I got it in a few different places and I'm still managing it. So you can absolutely manage a CRM. It's really just, I think Chef said it this morning, right? She got here and she said it, good morning, shift happens. All right, so lots about the CRM, lots about the lead nurturing. I think today was a great conversation. I love the depth that we've gone into talking about the sales versus the marketing side of things. And we know it's a lot, right? We understand that there's a lot of information there. More comments. Allison saying the CRM tool is an excellent to track your customer journey for real, right? That it gives you the information. It's when you see it, when we started working with HubSpot, I was like, almost like the angels started singing. I don't even know why I go to a religious reference, right? I just super weird. I get it. But the angels started singing for me because I was just like, oh my gosh, like what have we been trying to, because we've been pulling the data together and pulling the story together. At one glance, here's the entire story. This is the type of person. This is my target audience. These people have these things in common. So it's all in one place. And then what we get to do is we get to really customize it for our needs. So that's what's important about the CRM too. We're customizing it for our needs, our lingo in our business, and it becomes more about us and our customer base than just everything else that's out there. So I can talk about this forever. I don't know why, because Mike is our CRM expert, but
no, I love that I have 100% buy-in. I love that I have 100% buy-in because there's a little backstory, and of course, it's she wasn't there at first, right? She wasn't absolutely there at first.
I was just like, we gotta spend what? What is it gonna do for us? I was just like, oh my God, that's a lot.
But when we saw the data and even from putting things together, so once we had a strategy, we have a client strategy, you're able to see that strategy and even mock it up as well and see, okay, well, this is how this flow is going to work. So definitely happy that we have 100% buy-in here, and we know we're going to get more as we go along. So CRMs definitely, and then they come into play for small businesses when we decide that we are scaling, right? That's when it becomes really, really interesting. So you want to look at CRMs, and we'll definitely have, some more CRM conversations. Definitely looking at maybe a little HubSpot corner coming into as a segment.
Oh wow! Look at you just adding stuff to the show.
It's just like sales and operation. He's selling as well. He has been selling to you the whole time.
Exactly.
100% he has been. So Allison makes a great point here. The key is understanding what the platform can do. And 100%, that is it, right? What can the platform do? If you understand what it can do, tying that back to your goals. And that's the game changer right there. What can my platform do? And I don't know. I mean, I've said this for a long time. And for those of you that have heard me speak before, I say that it's never 100% utilization of any tool. We just don't use our tools to the 100% of what it could be. We're always at a 20%, we're always at a 30%. And in big businesses that I've worked with, companies that I've worked for in the past, before Monovan, I've noticed that they only use it 20% and then they jump to something else really quickly because people are very uncomfortable with new things. But if we spent time looking at the tools that we have right now, and we can really do a lot with those tools and get to that place of somewhat of a CRM and look to something different when we're looking to scale, because that's where it's important that it's a time saving thing. You get all the information in one space that helps you to achieve your goals. That's really the fundamentals, right? All the information in one space that tells me, hey, am I making the revenue? Am I not making the revenue? And then these are the things that I can do to get the job done, right? So that's what it helps you to do. So again, I'm gonna come off the soapbox.
Yeah, there's so much. It's like we opened a whole other conversation,
And a
right?
whole,
Because
a whole Pandora's box there.
so
Yeah,
yes, we will do CRMs. We will, go a little more into CRM. So those who are considering a CRM and
yeah,
find exactly about all of these things that maybe it seems overwhelming, not sure if you're ready for it or if your business is ready for it. But definitely it presents a lot of opportunities, both on that side, as we mentioned, as we spend the whole show talking about lead nurturing. But there's also the side when you're scaling your business that you're paying for these separate solutions. So
yeah.
there's also a cost rationalization that can happen as well. That has the potential to be highly beneficial for your business.
100%.
Yeah, Michael, you always use the terms. I call it subscription addiction, right? We just have so many subscriptions everywhere, and the same thing is being done in different subscriptions, and we're not realizing it. And I could say for me personally, I use HubSpot as well, and I had to make a conscious decision to ask myself before I subscribe to anything, does HubSpot already do it? And if it and go and make sure if it is I'm not paying for something else, if I have a tool that I'm already paying for. So my thought process now is, oh, I want to do this, let's check HubSpot and see if it's worth. And after I exhaust all options, then I may say, okay, let's look for something else. But you really have to take that step because, like you say, you have all these different subscriptions all over the place, and then you're just pulling data all over. It's duplication of effort, it's duplication of money. So, yeah.
Correct. What has Google's G Suite done for you? G Suite, you already, if you're using G Suite, you're using a CRM.
At you. All right. All right. We could stay here forever, guys, but I'm going to plug a few things. Take the quiz. We talked about the quiz. We talked about the quiz. Take the quiz. Understand the effectiveness of your online presence. Take the quiz. Scan the QR code. We will drop it in the comments of the show later on. So if not, take the quiz there. Go to your business and digital page. Take the quiz. If you are listening on the podcast, there is a link to the quiz in the description. The quiz is everywhere. If you want to understand the effectiveness of your online presence, where you are, is it weak? Is it medium? Is it strong? Are there things you could be doing better to really effectively drive revenue and achieve your business goals through your digital marketing efforts? This quiz is going to help you to get to that place. So definitely take the quiz. The other thing we're going to ask you to do is check us out in all the places, right? Connect with us on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, become a follower, set up your notifications. We want you to listen to us on YouTube. If YouTube is not your jam, that's fine. Check us out on LinkedIn. Check out the Your Business and Digital page. The page has been growing so much. So thank you to everyone that has followed recently. We are working to get you more information, more tips, more tricks, our 7 points consistently. Michelle is working on our newsletter. So we're really working as a team to kind of make sure that you are getting more information in the way that you need it. Check us out on Spotify, on Apple, on Google, and on Amazon. If you are a podcaster and that's where you want to hear us, check us out in those places. We are showing up everywhere. Follow us, check us out, and also share with other business owners, right? Share with other small and medium business owners. Let them know that this show is happening. We really help you translate your business into digital. And what we've done here is we have an amazing cast of characters, my favorite group of people. We have the CFO in the building, we have the sales strategist, we have the operations, and we have the marketing. And at Your Business in Digital, this is how we connect all the dots for you, because that's what's important for you to really, truly achieve your business goals, that all these departments in your business are working together, are on the same page, because they are the stakeholders that help us all get to that money in the bank. So thank you so much for joining us. Have an amazing Wednesday. We will be back here on Monday. Take it easy, guys. Bye.